Welcome back to Who's at the Chef's Table with Chef Dan. This week, your hosts, Chef Dan and Doris with a D, sit down with Chef Bruno, the culinary mind behind Livello, located in Coral Springs, Florida.
Hi, this is Chef Dan of SoFloDining, here with Doris and Chef Bruno of Livello, and we're here to talk about Livello in Coral Springs and Chef Bruno.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I have a question. How did you find yourself in the hospitality industry? What led you?
What led me? Well, first of all, I grew up in a family that cooked.
Aha.
Mother, father, grandmother, grandfather, everybody cooked. Everybody there. I wouldn't say they were all excellent cooks, but they all cooked. But they cooked well. Especially like Sundays was a big thing for us. And I always had my passion for food and to be in the hospitality business. But I didn't actually find myself into it until I was like 15, when I started working in high school, and I worked at the mall food court making sandwiches. And that's how I basically started. And then after that, I went and worked as a prep kind of person at a restaurant. To my mentor, Jack Flagg, which is my customer now. He comes here, which is an excellent story for another time. But that's how I found myself being in a hospitality and culinary world. Was that triggered me.
To the culinary leaders of South Florida, your kitchen is your sanctuary. Your cuisine is your art. So why are you letting the critics be chosen by the algorithm? Ask yourself, are you still letting untrained so-called critics represent you? People who have never truly stepped foot in a professional kitchen or grasped your style of cuisine are making sweeping judgments about your food to the general public. These are voices with no culinary background whatsoever, passing themselves off as experts. Your story deserves better. Your passion deserves a platform of integrity. Stop letting the noise and the inexperienced critics define your narrative. We invite you to sit with Chef Dan and Doris with a D at the chef's table. This is an exclusive, authentic conversation between professionals. Tell your story, share your vision, and represent your restaurant with the authority it deserves. We offer the only platform in South Florida where real chefs talk to real chefs. Reach out to us today to book your seat at the table. As always, enjoy, and we'll see you there.
So you've never done anything other than food, right?
Other than food, no.
Okay.
Since I was 15, that's what I started doing it. Obviously, you have your stints of, I'm tired of the business.
Right.
Let me go do some construction, and you find out that the grass is not green on the other side, and you come right back. But I always levitated back to cooking, and that's what it was. It was my passion. It was my comfort zone, and in many ways. And then obviously being in a restaurant industry is not only about cooking. It's about personal relations with customer and make sure that they're getting taken care of, But my forte was always back in the kitchen.
Okay, yes.
And how long have you been in business?
We opened December 9th, 2023. So a little bit over 4 months. And it's been great journey.
Non-stop.
It's been non-stop, yes. It's non-stop every day. We closed on Mondays, and usually I'm here all day. But that's part of the business. I knew I was getting myself into.
And you haven't always been in this location, right?
No. I was at a previous location before. I was executive chef at another popular restaurant in town, and I decided that it was time for me to kind of like jump off the cliff and see what it takes me. I'm a big believer from promoting from within.
Right.
So I have dishwashers that today are line cooks and sous chefs.
Right.
And
that's one of the true callings of a chef. When I was like you, I started when I was 14, and I actually went to college when I was 19 for culinary arts, because everybody said you have to go. And one of the old German chefs taught me part of being a real chef is passing the craft on. And I've seen that. We've been here, and I've seen staff that you've showed me that you've developed, and I've done that. And you get that good feeling inside when you go somewhere else, and the chef was your pot washer.
Yeah.
It's a real sense of accomplishment, and
Absolutely.
That's what a true chef does. So.
Yeah, not only that, but you feel it. The moment you walk in the door, everybody's family. Everybody knows each other. Everybody knows their strengths, and everybody plays to those strengths. You have a wonderful team here.
Thank you.
I mean,
Thank you.
you can see it. It's palpable when you walk in the
It's
door.
true, and it, people that know me or that have worked with me are going to laugh when they see this video because I'm going to tell them something that I always say. When people come to me and say, "Hey, boss," I tell them, "I'm not the boss. I work here just like you." People that need to be called boss don't know what they're doing.
No, yeah.
They need that, and
It's an empowering term to me. It's boss. I mean, some people like chef. I mean, and like in the corporate world or whatever it is, people call the chef. I mean, just call me Bruno.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I know what I am. You don't have to keep mentioning to me. And to me, it's like you said, you have to share your gift.
yes.
If you don't share your gift, we're here to contribute and make sure other people are doing the same thing and then moving on and doing better things with their lives. I have plenty of them that I wouldn't say help. I mentored.
Yes.
It's about mentorship. It's about taking so many kids that come to work in the kitchens because obviously they're lost.
Right.
I don't like college. I don't want to go to school.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you find that spark in them, and then they become great. And that happened with a lot of the people that I actually work with, and I learned from them as well.
Right. True.
Because it's about learning from each other.
Very true.
And like you said, like the person that mentored me when I was young, his name's Jack Flagg, and he's the same way I am. Let's teach the next person. Let's teach the next person, because not only is great to teach others, but also it's a nurturing thing. It's like you basically taking that person that wouldn't have, I wouldn't say wouldn't have, but it's kind of lost in the world, and be like, okay, now here's a set of knives. I'm going to teach you how to cut vegetables, or I'm going to teach you how to break a leg of lamb down, or clean a piece of fish, or whatever it is. And those things stay with you.
Right. And again, they work with you and for you through time, even though when they're not here anymore. You know that you could always call on them.
Oh, absolutely.
Whereas people that want to be boss and want to rule with a steel thumb, as soon as somebody leaves, that's it. You don't see them, and rightfully so.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely. Yeah, dude.
You guys are character builders.
Yeah.
That's what you guys are. That's what you do. That's your contribution.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing. And it's
Years ago, what Bruno said, because I'm much older than Bruno, and much before me, the kitchen was the place where criminals and whatever went to work, because they couldn't get a job anywhere. And that's that whole stereotype of the kitchen being tough. That's where that came from.
Yeah.
It used to be a rough place. I mean, I came up in the 80s, and I could tell you I've worked with some real
Pretty tough.
characters. Real characters. So
Me too. I mean, into like kind of took the reins at Tavolino where I was to be the chef there. It was not easy. It was the kitchen is it's a pressure cooker.
Yeah.
You're pressured with time, quality, with getting along with others that are standing 2 feet away from
in a
you.
tight space.
Yeah, and things change in a moment. Hot tempers. Kitchen people have a lot of hot tempers. One thing that goes wrong leads to another, and it, like you said, it was a place that it was always labeled as like the black sheeps of the culinary. I mean, of the industry,
Right.
Like the cooks, the pirates.
Yep.
It's called
The pirates. The pirates. Yeah.
goodness.
And it's funny you said how, we work 8 to 10 hours a day in a small area, 6-7 days a week, not 5.
Yeah.
And it's hot. We're under pressure. And, back when I used to do it, we used to call it a dance. You can work next to somebody 2 feet away and do a whole service and never bump into each other.
That is true.
And we used to call it the dance. And I remember every now and then we'd switch somebody up and get him out of here.
Yeah.
Get him out of here. I got burned 3 times.
Hey,
it was still
Yeah.
a dance. It was called
proof
bump
and
and
live
grind.
and prove, right?
Yeah,
there.
if I didn't have this hair.
Yeah.
Every day in the Fort Lauderdale metro area, thousands of dollars are being spent. The question is, who are they being spent with? Are you just one more name on a massive generic list? Or are you part of the respected local authority that consumers trust? If you're relying on luck or chance, you're playing a losing game. The alternative is simple: slow, painful decay until there's no business left. This is why you must establish your authority right now. Beachside Directory is not a search engine. It's the curated go-to resource for locals and visitors. We feature the who's who of the area across professional services, repair, remodeling, things to do, and places to stay. When a consumer opens our directory, they are ready to transact. We filter out the tire kickers and connect you with qualified buyers. This isn't charity. This is a deliberate, calculated move to dominate your market. Stop wasting time and money on tactics that don't work. Secure your spot in the Beachside Directory. The cost of inaction is too high. Visit beachside.directory. That's beachside.directory and join the winners today.
And in the kitchen, at the end of the night, we all sit together.
Yes.
And then we're like, oh, we should have done this better. We could have done this better. Man, remember that lamb that you burned and I had to do one on the fly for you?
Yeah.
Those are the things that you sit around and you drink a cold beer at the end of the night and you go back and say, maybe next time we won't do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's find another way. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. What style of food do you serve?
Well, we serve here at Livello. It's a fusion. I wouldn't like to call traditional Italian because it's not. We still have traditional Italian, American Italian dishes, and some I wouldn't say authentic, but somewhere in a fusion of we can still make a true carbonara with guanciale and egg yolk and a pecorino and all that. But my style of cooking or this food that we serve, it has to have a modern twist. Because everybody else is doing the same thing. Right. If you're going to be a follower, then why do this?
Right.
Especially, as a chef, you have to think out of the box and you have to create. And that's the way we are. We serve any food from anywhere from East Asia all the way to South America. Yeah. You might come in one day, find like I say, a traditional plate of lasagna alla bolognese. And then the next day you come in and you have a Wagyu skirt steak with black garlic and soy glaze.
No, and like he said about following and leading, you could follow the successful guy, but he was successful because he was a leader.
Because he started, he was a pioneer.
He was the first one. So everyone else just follows. And why would you go support the followers when you can go to the leader?
What is your most popular dish?
Most popular dish, wow. I would have to say the veal chop Livello.
Okay.
It's a 16-ounce butterfly veal chop. We pound it very thinly, and then we pound prosciutto into it. And then we bread it and pan fry it with extra virgin olive oil, house-made vodka sauce, burrata cheese. And then we bake that, and when it comes out, we make homemade burrata cheese ravioli with cacio e pepe with a little black truffle in it.
Wow. See, this is originality.
I could have just made veal chop parmesan.
Exactly.
Like everybody else.
Exactly.
But, the vodka sauce and the burrata and the ravioli with cacio e pepe and the prosciutto, that takes you to the next level. That's what I call it.
Sure.
Instead of just doing your normal.
Watering. That's what I call it.
Now this next one she usually asks, but I'm going to ask it.
I know. Go ahead. Go.
Because, when I worked in the kitchen, there were certain things that I'd like to eat. And people would be like, but you don't eat whatever? And certain things are curveball. So what's your favorite thing to eat?
Like comfort food?
Yeah.
Well, I'm from Brazil originally, right? So growing up, like my plate of food was always rice, beans, fried eggs, and then maybe a little fried plantain, platanitos,
Nice.
and that was it.
Yeah.
I don't have to have a steak. I don't have to have anything. Just the fried eggs, over easy. That yolk break on that rice, and that to me it's my favorite. You're not gonna come here and see me eating a plate of seafood risotto.
Right. See?
Not that I don't like it. It's just I make it every day.
I was going to say, after you make things every day, I went through a series where I couldn't stand filet mignon and I couldn't stand lobster. But those were our two biggest sellers, and I would see them every day.
I could not tell you the last time that I had lobster, and I don't like filet mignon either.
See?
To me, it's flavorless.
Yep.
If you're going to give me a steak, give me a ribeye. Fat is flavor. I make food for my staff.
Right.
I cook for them whenever I can, but usually Sundays are family dinner. And I let them pick the food. And they're like, you're not going to eat? I say, no. I'm going to go home and have hot dogs or something.
Yeah.
I like the simplest thing ever.
That's the funny thing. I think like you said, because we do it every day, we see it every day. It's just,
People like, I had a customer the other day. I made this dish. It's called rigatoni with spicy alla vodka. So we do like butter poached lobster with Fresno chili, shallots, a little bit of white wine and vodka. I don't use only vodka. I use both because the white wine gives that little sweetness. Some Mazzano tomato puree and a little heavy cream. And at the end, I put a spoon of creme fraiche to make it creamier.
Right.
And this lady called me to the table and she's like, would you learn how to make this? I said, no, just from the top of my dome.
That's it, yep.
And she's like, have you ever tried it? I was like, no. She's like, how the hell do you know what it tastes like? Well, I say, first of all, I try the food before you eat.
Right.
So I know the flavors are there.
Exactly.
But I will never find me eating a plate of rigatoni alla vodka with lobster in it or shrimp or chicken. It's not that I don't like it. It's that you see it, you smell it every day. The last thing I want to do is eat that.
Eat that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my two popular dishes when I was a chef was my shrimp fried diavolo, chicken franchise.
Yeah.
I hate them both. You'll never see me saying, I got to make that, or no.
Well, Doris, let's go off with some shrimp fried diavolo today.
Yeah, right?
I just can't.
Yeah.
It's just,
No,
it's just something.
It's like even my wife asks me all the time. She's like, "What do you want me to cook for you today?" Just make hot dogs, honey. It's fine.
Yeah.
She's like, "That's it? That's all you want?" I say, "Yeah," but I don't make a normal hot dog.
Yep.
I'm gonna go
You know
home.
what he makes me make him? Peanut butter jelly sandwiches.
Oh, that's my favorite.
Okay.
It's simple.
It's
Just
simple.
saying.
It's simple.
Just that's what I cook now.
I love peanut butter jelly sandwiches. Creamy or crunchy?
Creamy.
I like the creamy. I used to like the crunchy. I like the creamy now.
I like crunchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the crunch in it.
There's a back and forth though. You'll see.
Well, no, wait.
Because after 55,
I was going to say,
may
once you
wanna
get a
go
little
back to
older,
creamy.
once you get a little older and you visit the dentist a
Have
lot.
you ever put potato chips on your peanut butter and jelly
Heck
sandwich?
yeah.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
Ah, you're sitting with your feet in the sand at Spot in the Upper Keys, with an icy cold rum runner in hand, perfect fritter on the plate. That's the moment SoFloDining shows up. The sharpest guide in South Florida, totally free, to your inbox, 7 days before it's public. Vegan Homeboy finds you jackfruit tacos that don't lie. Rick Tobin's words of wisdom cut deeper than espresso. Doris with a D says which pop-up's actually worth the drive. Who's at the chef's table puts Dan in your ear with every secret glaze, the unstoppable women quietly owning this scene. We spotlight 'em. Snowbird's WTF keeps you ahead. Best deals. Hottest rooftops. Zero tourists. Plus Key West Spice's mango chili recipe that'll ruin you for takeout. Visit SoFloDining.com and subscribe for free. Taste what SoFlo has to offer early. As always, enjoy, and we'll see you there.
You made something the time that we went over to Tavolino, and it had pears inside it, and it looked like a little purse, like a little Italian purse like this. And I thought that was absolutely excellent.
And what happened was
that?
we had gone with a couple, and they were raving about that. And
Yes.
I worked in an Italian restaurant a long time, so again, Italian food, traditional American Italian food, I don't go crazy over. They ordered that. That was incredible. And I know we spoke
the
to
one.
Yeah, it's called the pear fiocchi. So pear fiocchi is actually a fiocchi is like a sachet type pasta. It looks almost like a little money bag.
Yes.
Yes.
And inside of it is 4 cheeses and roasted pear. Taleggio, Robiolo, Grana Padano, and ricotta cheese. And then they blend it with roasted pears, and then they put inside a little the pear pouch. And then the sauce for it, it's a quattro formaggio, or 4 cheese cream with some poached pears, and then topped with candy walnuts. So you got sweet, you got a little bit of sharp from the cheese, you got a little saltiness from the cheese, and then you go with a crunch from the walnuts.
And that's why we ordered another dish of it.
And
And
I was just going to tell you, and I was going to say how I told you how I felt about the traditional American Italian food. We actually ordered a second at the table with that.
That's how good it was.
That dish has been around for a long time, right? People make it different variations of it, but we were known at Tavolino for that, for those 2 things that we're popular for. The pear fiocchi and the Sicilian amaretto cookies.
There you go.
You know,
We're
those.
There you go.
we're not
We-
going to talk about the cookies.
We love those cookies.
But that's people walk in. The first thing they ask, I swear to God, they'll go to the host and be like, "Do you have cookies today?" I'm like, "We always have cookies." Okay, because if not, we're gonna leave.
Again,
Oh my
now remember we said about keeping the chocolate in the West Wing? Bruno gave us some cookies last time we were here to take home.
Sicilian cookies, yeah.
They went to the West Wing
Nice,
because if I had them next door,
they'll be gone.
oh yeah,
They're
I mean they were incredible.
I'm Sicilian. They're Sicilian. It was a natural.
But no question I'm going to ask you: the menu. You switch up the menu
Yes.
periodically.
Well,
Very important.
we try to, again, be innovative with not only for our sake in a kitchen and a restaurant, and as a form of education for food, it's to change our menus every month. Lunch, dinner, and then brunch that we opened recently. We change it every 3 months because you only open for brunch 1 day a week.
Right.
So if you change it every month, people are going to be like, "Oh, really? I came here last month and you had this. Now you don't." And then our pizza menu changes with the season also. So now July, in the beginning of July, we got a new pizza menu coming out. So summer, spring, winter, they're all different pizzas. We always try to make something new. So our menu does change every week. I mean, every month. The original plan was to do it every week, but I found my customers complaining. I did it for the first 2 weeks, and they're like, "Well, I came here last week, and you had a great view and broccoli rabe sandwich. Why can't I have it this week?" I said, "That was last week's."
That was last week.
And then we came to a conclusion that a month was sufficient for everybody to at least try.
Try everything,
Yeah.
and that's very important because
I love that.
again, for customer retention, like we just said, when we're in the kitchen, we get tired of looking at the same dish. We're food reviewers.
Yeah.
We have some restaurants that we go to a lot, and I'll sit there and just look at the menu and be like, "We're here, your menu." It's like I could just sit there and order everything, and then come back a month later, look,
And it's all new.
and it's all new, and that's the great thing about the switch. Some people do specials, and again, I'm sure you've seen it.
I do too.
But you see when they do specials and you go there and every week it's the same special. That's another thing where it's just stagnant.
We do. I do change it every 2 weeks.
Okay.
It's our chef's pop-up. That's what I call it.
Okay.
So I usually, call my purveyors and see what you got that's coming in fresh. We're gonna do something a little bit different. Like for instance, like right now on the menu, I have this beautiful Mid-Atlantic oysters. I call them the rum runner.
Okay.
So what it did was a pineapple pico de gallo, okay, with lime granita, and then I take a pipette and I put 3 drops of rum on it. So when you have the oyster raw like that with the pineapple and everything, you get a little bit of the lime, the rum, almost resembles like a pineapple mojito.
That's what I was thinking in my head was mojito.
Yeah.
That sounds
So that's
interesting.
kind of like the way we innovate with things
Right.
like that.
And a lot of yours change though for the menu, like you said, is seasonal.
Seasonal.
And again, that ensures optimal freshness.
Absolutely.
That's-
Like summertime, a lot of things are grilled and have a lot of fruit aspects to it, tomatoes, fresh, light. And then you walk in here in November, in the middle of the almost winter time, and you're gonna find your view ossobuco with your risotto alla Milanese, and then you come on spring, you're gonna find your lamb with the peas and the mint and all that good stuff. If you're gonna do normal, then we're just gonna be like everybody else.
Be like everybody
you
else.
have to be innovative. You have to innovate. It's not like we're trying to change the culinary world. We're not gonna do that. But we're definitely bringing something to Coral Springs that does not exist. There's
We're creating it as we speak.
Yeah.
I mean, if you remember, I don't know I'm sure you read my first review where I said, this is the new hotspot. And I said, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, they all got their things. And I said, I'll put this up against anywhere in Fort Lauderdale, Miami. I mean, you're that good.
Thank you.
Really.
I appreciate
and
it.
we
you've
we
earned
go
that.
to a lot of places. I'm honest, this is, the first time we came here, you blew us away. Really.
And you still do.
And I
Thank
still,
you. Even
and I
today,
go
I was
online,
blown away.
and I'm always looking at your menu. I always check out what you guys are doing. And whenever I see people put posts about it, about here, they're incredible posts. incredible. I
Thank
love
you.
looking at the pictures, and it's, you know,
It's another thing is like what I tell my I want to say my staff, the people that I work with,
Right.
okay, is that people eat with their eyesight first, okay. If something look good, tastes good, believe me, they're gonna be talking about it.
Right.
They're gonna be talking about it. They're gonna make sure that you know about it. And for me, presentation is very important. You know, obviously, do we fail? Yeah, we'll fail. I mean, there's plenty of things that we do that didn't work. I like with chefs, try and error. You know.
oh yeah.
And then when it doesn't work, you move on.
Yes,
Make something
that's
different.
it. Change something different.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So, wanted to tell everybody where you can be found.
Yes.
Hours.
So we are in Coral Springs, obviously. We're University Drive, number 2047, North University Drive, in the same plaza as Doris Supermarket. The phone number here is 754-777-9277. Our hours of operation is Tuesday through Sunday from 11 to 3, and then we take a brief break. We close for 2 hours, which we call the reset time. We clean the restaurant, we set the kitchen and everything, and then we open from 5 to 9, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday we close at 10.
Okay, and I'll put all those hours at the end of the thing, so everyone can see the hours, the address, and the phone number.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Is there anything you want to add?
Come try us out and you know, see what Livello is about. I think we try to hold ourselves to a higher standard when it comes to food, not only because of the quality, but also our techniques and our you know, our passion for food, our service, extensive wine list. We have over 150 different bottles of wine from around the
Probably
world.
see them in the
Yeah,
background.
that's only half of
That's
it.
half,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's not even there. Over there. There's about 93 different. But in the back, obviously, I have a wine list that we call the captain's list, from anywhere from Australia all the way to Chile.
Wow.
I'm amazed.
And
I'm
I can
amazed
tell
what
you,
I expected from you.
I could even tell you the menu is incredible, even down to just simple pizza is incredible.
You know, if you're gonna, in my mind, it's like if you're gonna do anything, put 100% into it.
Exactly.
You know, 94 doesn't work. I mean, yeah, you're gonna reach 100% all the time. You may not, but at least you put in the effort.
You shoot for it, for sure.
You shoot for it, absolutely.
So, all right.
All right.
That it?
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. So,
That's it. We covered it all.
as always, enjoy, and we'll see you there. Take care.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye bye.
Thanks for watching, everyone, to another delicious episode of Who's at the Chef's Table with Chef Dan. Join us next week for more culinary adventures. This show's a proud joint production of SoFloDining and the Beachside Directory. Head over to SoFloDining.com to subscribe for free to our online magazine, packed with awesome features, discounts, and South Florida dining tips. SoFloDining is your go-to guide for all things tasty in the Sunshine State. See you soon.